more. So one of the great things about the stuff is we like to go freestyle, and we like to have our, it's good to be back in the studio, isn't it, Terry? Because there's so much stuff going on.
Yes.
So one of the things is, let's start with Mike. So Mike Szymanski, who are you, Mike? Where'd you come from? Because you and I have known each other for a long time.
Yeah, Mike Szymanski, film critic and all-around reporter. We covered the Oscars many times together, a couple of decades, I think. And I'm still writing reviews and freelancing for the Movie Reviews and More site and the Art of Montague site that Brian and I are associated with.
And for Sportamix.
Yes, and Sportamix, yes.
Aristotle, it's good to hear you here. Let's talk about what you're doing. Everything Greek.
Everything Greek indeed. It's all Greek to me too sometimes. I'm the artistic director of the Los Angeles Greek Film Festival. But this year it feels like it's the World Greek Film Festival. Of course, Corona business has changed everybody's life, and so this festival is also going virtual. So we have a much larger canvas to paint in and paint with. So we have, for some reason, we had amazing number of submissions this year, over 250.
Wow.
And we're screening about 54 films. We just added one yesterday, and we're broadcasting. It's available to most of the things are available all over the world, and this is like the Wild West, literally, of digital entertainment. Nobody knows exactly what borders they're supposed to keep. Some filmmakers allow us in a certain area, the USA, North America. Others say, yeah, go ahead. Have it available worldwide. So I'm here joining the rest of the filmmakers and the film festivals in this new world.
Brian, I don't know if people know this, but Los Angeles is the place for the most international film festivals anywhere in the world. There's the Israeli Film Festival, there's the Czechoslovakian Film Festival, there's a Polish Film Festival. It's incredible. And so I'm glad that you are focusing on the Greek Film Festival, but there is an amazing amount of international film festivals right here in LA.
And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But first of all, Adam Gross. Finally, a pleasure to meet you, because I thought we did a great interview on Zoom, and I just loved your story and everything that happened on that, plus your product. And I've been telling everybody about it, and I haven't even tried it yet. But I liked what you had to offer, because you have a wonderful story. And then, obviously, nonstop Terri Marie. But, Adam, let's go to you. How did you start this, and why?
Well, this is a company called Papa and Barkley, which is, we make cannabis wellness products. And the way we started was through an experience I had with my father, who became very ill and bedridden and had terrible back pain, and I developed the balm for his back and had a life-changing experience, which I can share later in the show, I guess. But it's great to be here and to be able to share with you guys.
I love Adam's story, because I was reading it, and it is, there's Papa and Barkley. There's pictures of him and his the pit bull family dog, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful story. So I was so glad that we're going to get to meet him and talk to him.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, it's wonderful, because there's been brands that have reached out to us for, the last couple of years, but just because you have something good, I'm like, either I like you or I don't. It's one of those things. Either you can communicate with us or no. And the reason I say that is because in that world, it's one thing. I'm going to challenge you. Can you pick up the phone? Can I talk to you? Oh, yes. And then I'd contact them. No communication, no email, no text, and that drives me nuts. My thing is, if we have 6 million views a day and counting, we want to be able to help your company grow. We want to be able to help the film festival grow. Because I'm telling you, no one has our numbers of what we're doing around the world. And then we get into individuals. Terry's got 3 million views alone from the last 5 years since we've been with us. These aren't followers, because you're going to follow someone. These aren't likes, because you're going to unlike something. And these aren't subscribers, because you're going to unsubscribe. That's the difference between Movie Reviews and More and anybody else. So when it comes to that, I automatically knew I wanted to do something with you, because it was just your story. And it's all about the story. Same thing with Aristotle. I think of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, when, Mike and I were there, when we were champion at way back, when I had Rita Wilson and Nina Vardonis on. And I remember no one liked that film. I said, I'm gonna do something with this film. She's still thanking me for the stuff that we did back then. And then last year, you had Cliffs of Freedom, one of the best films I've ever seen. And I can't find that film, and I'm frustrated. But it came out of your film festival. And Mike, you're right. At one point, Los Angeles used to have 56 film festivals. I don't know what they have now, because I told them 2 years, actually going back to 2016, that film festivals were dead, and they are. So talking about how you're doing things differently, which is why you're here, what are you going to do differently?
Well, for starters, you mentioned that Nia Vardalos, and you like that film. Well, Nia Vardalos is going to be doing a masterclass, a live on October 15th. A live masterclass through Zoom, of course, about writing.
Wow.
We're also going to have another very exciting, all of this in addition to the 54 films. We're going to have the one and only Jim Giannopoulos, the CEO of Paramount.
Wow.
He's going to do a masterclass. We're going to have, that's October the 12th, I believe. All of this is going to be in our website as soon as all the dates are confirmed, but these guests are confirmed. We're also going to have Greg Utanis. He's a director, has done most of the House episodes, and also the episodes about the Banshee, executive director of Banshee, the series. So he's going to do a masterclass.
Yeah.
And then we have an amazing entity, the film festival Darlings. These are short films, about 6 of them, that have garnered a number of awards worldwide, from Cannes to Berlin to the Italian one in Venice, the Venice Film Festival, and these are going to be another online, other than their films. We're also going to have an online get-together of these filmmakers. They're going to talk about how come they're so good. What do you do different, and you're amazing, you get all these awards from all over the world. So that's what we're trying to do different. We're trying to marry the amazing films we find in front of us and the live connection with the industry in Hollywood. They have to do it with Greek Americans, of course. We've got to be, related somehow. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring everything together in a beautiful experience.
How are we going to be able to have some Greek food?
Yes, we're going to have virtual ouzo.
We can all break our own plates.
So is there's going to be a charge for like a certain amount of films that you can see, or how does that work?
Yes, we do have a very, very affordable all access pass that includes all of the above.
So you can see all 54 films.
All 54 films.
And be in the in the
that
theater
makes me and Mike
for a month.
Because we can't go to the movies or
We
something.
used to go to film festivals, and I'd say to Brian, "How many did you see this time?" I'd be like, "I'm at 86." 86
Exactly.
movies. We'd go like from the early morning to midnight.
And it's only going to be like $70 for everything.
That's great.
And actually, I'd like to offer 2 or 3 passes for you, Brian, for your show. And if somebody wants to call in and get the passes, I'd be more than happy. And they can redeem them from anywhere.
And I've already offered to cover them. I'm going to write about it for the website.
See, and that's good, and that's one reason why I like having Mike here, because, Adam, what we're missing, and Terry, is obviously we can't go to the theaters. New York, California are still closed. But there's no new movies coming out. So again, maybe this would be good for those brands and for film festivals that are doing stuff where people can actually see something. Because the hardest thing is, would you want to go to a movie theater, or would you want to log on to On Demand for a film that you never heard anything about? It makes it really difficult. So having that good word of mouth, and maybe, Mike, this is where maybe some of the writers might be able to come back. I don't know. For us, yes, but I don't know. It's very difficult.
Well,
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to ask, there's obviously a competition, so is there a plan to promote the winners of the film festival? And maybe that's
Yes,
the ones.
we do have, there is a jury that involved that they're going to be making, awarding the best feature film, best short film, best documentary, best acting, best directing, and it's going to be announced. But also, we're going to be able to, this is fully curated. So it's not, hey, here's 54 films, have at it. We have entities like Young and Restless, Young and Heart, Young in AIDS, Restless, Young and Restless, Just Restless, the whole work. We have Liquid Visions, an amazing collection of 5 shorts that have to do with the sea, the ocean, the sand, the clouds, things that flow, characters that move. And so it's fully curated, and so people can go in and say, oh, maybe I do want to see this about excellent cinematography and shadows, and just get lost into that little curated entity of 6 shorts, let's say.
I have a question about that, just because that we're living in this different world. Is the film festival running for like a couple weeks, or
Yes.
how long are the films going to be available for you to see?
It's running from the October 1st to October 15. You have 15 days to see these films. Once you start a film, it's probably the same around many different areas. You have 72 hours, usually 48, we made it 72, to finish viewing that specific film. Other than that, you can see it as many times as you want. You can see it Monday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, or Tuesday midnight. It's up to you.
Do you have any way to get feedback from the people that watch the films?
Yes, they put stars, 1 to 5 stars, so you can see who likes. Which movie people like and enjoy, and
So is there an audience participation award?
yes, there
Oh,
is.
yeah, okay.
There is
So
an
that's
audience
it.
participation award based on the star
Yeah.
value and star weight that films receive. It's really, if you think about it, it does have all the elements of a real film festival,
Yeah.
other than the people,
Yeah.
other than being in the same room, in the same theater, in the same auditorium.
Well, that's the trick, isn't it? To sort of get engagement. So there's the
Yes.
giving of stars, but
Yes.
how do you facilitate sort of a conversation session about a particularly intriguing film or
You
some
don't.
other way?
It's very difficult. Other than the online sessions, the Zoom sessions that we're going to have, where some discussions are going to take place, we're missing all of that completely. Granted, and this realization goes, I'm sure, for all the digital and virtual world, is that we terribly miss the live social engagement aspect of it. And we crave seeing other human beings. Actually, I'm so glad to see you here, Adam. And Brian. I haven't seen anybody but my wife for I don't know how many weeks now. So I'm really happy to see you guys and be next to you. But then we cannot do that. On the other hand, and then I don't know how many projects. This is the 14th LA Greek Film Festival, and I can count at least 4, 5, 6 different projects that have started outside the Egyptian courtyard. That's where we usually have it. People mingle there, they talk, they kibbutz, they get feedback, they get engaged, they network. We're missing all of that.
How long have you been with the festival?
About 10 years now.
Yeah, so
10,
you've seen
12
how
years.
things have grown. And, when we last talked, it was one of those things where I said, I kind of challenged him, Mike. I said, you got to be ready because this is really going to be very strange. And what I saw coming out of Venice Film Festival and Toronto and, Telluride didn't have one. These are Oscar, this is where Oscar films start to come in. So I think this is perfect timing for you and how you described it. I haven't had anybody describe it what you have said so far. And then for us, I may be on one of your juries. We may do something different for you, but I want to do it something different where we can help get the word out more, if that makes sense, with the viewers that we have. And then also, you speak Greek too, don't you?
Πολύ καλά. Yes, I do.
So you've got to say in your natural language to the audience around the world, talk about the film festival and the dates.
Λοιπόν, καλώς ήρθατε. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ, Brian, που μας έχεις εδώ. Thank you so much for having me here, Brian, at Movie Reviews and More. It's an excellent program. I hope, ελπίζω πολύ περισσότεροι να το βλέπουν από εδώ και πέρα. To watch it from now on. It's going on. The festival is taking place from October, 1η Οκτώβρη μέχρι 15 Οκτωβρίου και ελπίζω όλοι να είσαστε στο φεστιβάλ. Είναι στο lagff.org. That's the web, ιστοσελίδα, the web address.
And Terry, so we met you, our other co-host, Katerina Cozias.
Yep. I have a question though on just with the film festivals and stuff. I'm missing the red carpet. Brian knows that.
Yes.
And I was, are we going to have any like virtual red carpets where we can see the clothes the actresses and the actors wear? I mean, I know that I'm not the only person who's missing that.
We've been thinking about that. I've seen something where there is a background and people put their picture in, and then that goes into a tableau. Or we're thinking about it. We're not certain we're going to do something like that.
Yeah, or some kind of, I don't know, interviews for the actors.
Yes.
Could be online because that's what
course.
we've done with Celebrity Connected and stuff, and that's
other than the master classes I mentioned, there is going to be a number of Q&As with. Now you have, there are a lot of things we miss, but there are a lot of things that we gain too. Now all of a sudden, instead of paying $7,000 to have the actors and cast and director come from Greece, now you can have all of them in a Zoom session and talk to them. And you can do that today and tomorrow, somebody else, and the day after that. So we're going to have a number of Q&A sessions with pretty well-known actors and actresses and directors from Greece.
It was
and
lovely.
around the world.
It was lovely at the Emmys to see people at home, and some of them were dressed up, and the Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, and they had their own little ballroom kind of setting, but other people were at home and they were still dressed up, or some were very casual, and I thought it was pretty cool to see that and get the kind of feel of them being at home.
It does seem like you could do a deeper dive into like the motivation of the filmmakers, and for people that really are film buffs that are watching the 50 movies, the chance to interact with the people that created them on a deeper level is an interesting aspect.
It gives you a broader audience that can see that kind of stuff that normally wouldn't be able to see the red carpet or get that intimate, up close. So that's a positive of all this.
Yeah, I've been monitoring the sales, and right now we have more passes outside California than in California.
That's actually good because film festival has always been global, so it only makes sense.
Yep.
But limited for the people that could attend to the locals.
Exactly.
That's right.
So Adam, when it comes to brands, what's happening with Papa and Barkley, and then tell the story for a couple people that don't know. And again, we're dog friendly. Have to always say that.
I appreciate it. I was going to bring my dog in today, but I chickened out. Well, in terms of just the world changing and branding, do you want me to tell my story?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, the way the company started was, as I mentioned, I've been a lifelong user of cannabis myself, and when the industry started to emerge back in 2014, 2015, I knew we wanted to be a part of it, and my background's entrepreneurial, so we started having conversations, but what really created the company was a personal experience that I had with my father. So I was living in New York at the time and commuting to Boston to take care of my parents who needed help and needed help. And so my father developed this back condition that I mentioned earlier, spinal stenosis, and became bedridden. We didn't know what to do, and he just got weaker and weaker. We put him in the hospital, and nothing was working. The medication they were trying to give him didn't work. Nothing was working, and he got placed on hospice care. The pain specialist told us if he didn't get out of bed in a week to 10 days that he probably wouldn't. I was desperate. I received a call from a friend of mine in California who had been in a dispensary and seen a pain balm and suggested that I go online and look at formulas, which I did on YouTube, and synthesized a couple of formulas, and went to Whole Foods to get the ingredients, called up a high school buddy of mine said, Sheppy, I need to get some weed tonight, the best you can get, and borrowed a crock pot from a neighbor and mixed up the first batch of bomb with 2 ounces of weed in it, making it as strong as I could. And when I mixed it the next day and put it on my father's back, I could get him out of bed. And so, long story short, with a lot of care and a lot of balm repeatedly applied to his back and giving him nutrition when he was sitting up, he got better. He ended up living almost another 2 years, and it opened up my eyes to the incredible medicinal potential of this plant. And I started giving away samples of the balm to friends and family and getting feedback, and then started pursuing it. Could this really be a product? And my journey brought me here to California, where I met my partner Guy, who's an amazing guy and super passionate and articulate and sort of an artist with the plant. And so his experience in formulating products, he was sort of the perfect person to partner with. And we launched back in June of 2016, before the law changed, and had some interesting experiences standing up the company. We launched out of a house that he owns over in Glassell Park. And yeah, we just, we started with the balm as our first product, and it's still the top selling balm in California in the cannabis market here. And that's because it really works. All of our products are made in a similar vein, really potent with super clean cannabis that we source up in Humboldt County, where we're lucky enough to be based. Basically, we got up there through luck and karma. I have a cousin from up there. That's another story. But everything we do is chemical free. The processing, so there's no chemical used in the processing of any of the products. We try and make them as pure and effective as we can, and we're really mission based. Our mission is to unlock the potential of cannabis to improve people's lives, and with products now including the consumable tinctures and capsules, people are really having life-changing experiences, people that have real issues with chronic conditions, and so that's what we're known for. We're the top company in the wellness sector for products geared, non-psychoactive pain products and other ingestibles. And that's what
You
we're
had
doing.
no idea this was going to happen, though, did you?
Not at all. I mean, we were going to form a fund and invest in some companies and help them grow. My background is more as an operator, but then this experience, it came from this place. I don't have children, and taking care of my dad, and it brought, at the end of his life, us to a whole new place through this really blessed experience that also launched this amazing company, and we're making these products, and so we're fully inspired, and we try and bring that to the people that join the company, and we're starting an affiliate program for that too. But I've been in a few different businesses in my career, and to arrive at this business that to have so much passion for it, and to have my dad's picture on the box, it's very inspiring.
Talk about my mother's been bothering me about, what are you getting me stuff? I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you, first of all. She's 70, she looks good. Well, I'm 72, she looks good, but it's one of those things where she lives in Griffin, Georgia, it's a private upscale thing, but a lot of their ex-CEOs, someone, her neighbor, one of her neighbors is a scientist, one of them likes going on cruises, so they can't do any of that stuff all the time. So it's one of those things now where they're like, they don't know what they need. And I keep telling them, well, go
It's
on,
confusing.
Popper and Barkley to see what they have.
Even that's confusing, and I can certainly acknowledge that. We make different tinctures of different ratios of THC to CBD. It takes a lot of education for elderly people, well, just for people in general as a starting point. But the thing about CBD is, what people generally don't understand is how you're supposed to take it. CBD, you don't say I have a headache and I need to take the CBD pill. You want to take CBD typically for issues around inflammation. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory, but it activates a lot of different systems. So I have a sister who has Parkinson's disease. She takes it every day. So the fact that there haven't been sufficient clinical trials is because it's been a Schedule I narcotic and remains the same as heroin, and therefore we haven't been able to do these studies. But that's what is amazing in terms of our mission, because there's immense potential for not just the CBD and the THC, which working together I think are most effective, but all of the other almost 100 cannabinoids, actually over 100 cannabinoids that are there, CBG, CBN. So it's a fascinating puzzle overall. But back to your mom and just a starting lesson.
A lot of her friends, it's always hips,
Knees,
back.
So it's all sort of systemic inflammation as you get older. I have those pains too. I suggest starting with the capsules of the tincture, the 30-to-1 product, which is the ratio in California. It's the same formulation as what we sell as our CBD tinctures and capsules online for papaandbarkleycbd.com, where people can order anywhere in the country because it's below the 0.3% THC threshold. That product is a product that you take every day as a daily nutraceutical. I would take 2 droppers full of the tincture. This is the 30-to-1 I'm talking about, so it's all CBD and a very slight amount of THC. Or these capsules, I brought you guys some. You can send them to your mom. But take 2 of those capsules a day for 1 week, and then check back in on what their overall situation is. I've too many stories to count in terms of people coming back saying, oh my God, now I'm sleeping through the night, and now, but mostly for inflammation-related diseases or epilepsy.
Yep.
Terry, you have problems working out?
No, I was going to say my mom has knee issues, so I probably should get my mom on that for her knees, because she's 80 and she doesn't want to have knee surgery because she's afraid to. So,
and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
They all think they need surgery right away.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the doctors have told her she needs surgery, but she doesn't want to because she's got heart issues. So we're trying to find another way to help her with her knee issues. But yeah, for me, for the way I train, because I do fitness competitions, I'm probably going to use this soap because I have muscle pains and that kind of stuff. So this
and the balm as well. So there's
Yeah.
the topicals, and then for the systemic stuff, the more serious conditions, that's where you start taking the ingestibles.
And then for injuries, I have an injury from skiing where I fell on my elbow, so I probably should be using it on that too.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, I have a ton of sports injuries too.
Wow. Give your website.
It's papaandbarkley.com for our California regulated THC. So it's papaandbarkley.com, and that same thing, papaandbarkleycbd.com for products that you can order online and delivered anywhere in the country.
Mike, what have you been doing writing-wise, and how your dog's doing? Because I love seeing the pictures of your dogs.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, I have 2 dachshund books out, books about dachshunds. One of them is kind of the dictionary of dachshunds, like an encyclopedia of weird facts about the dachshund breed. And then another one is just heartwarming stories about dachshunds, dachshunds that have gone to nursing homes, dachshunds who have been rescuers. They've rescued people from bears and out of fires and things like that. Really fun stories.
That's
Any
interesting.
interesting factoids you can share?
Well, the longest living breed of any dog has been a dachshund. So the longest recorded dog that has lived 23 years, and that was a dachshund. Actually, a dachshund mix. And they go from, like, the smallest dachshund has been 1.5 inches, if you can believe it.
Wow.
And then the longest one has been almost 3 feet long. Yeah, the small, tiny dachshund.
Wow.
That's a teacup dachshund.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But they're built well.
Yeah.
They're longest.
they're weirdly built. They're, ergonomically incorrect. They should not be like, they shouldn't be working like they are, because they're too long and they're too
They're
short.
like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs with feet.
And actually, hot dog was the wiener was
Yeah,
the-
dachshund, yeah.
yeah,
I didn't know
named
that.
after that.
And then the last time you were here, you were talking about Away. So since then, what have you been watching lately? Because I'm not watching Amazon stuff.
Oh
because
my
I
God,
just
have you
get tired
seen
of the junk.
Ratchet?
I started watching that.
Is that on Amazon?
Yeah,
It's
it's
on
Netflix.
Oh, it's on
It
Netflix.
just came out.
It's another Ryan Murphy, kind of really brutal, very, usual bloody kind of stuff. But Sarah Paulson, I just love her.
Yeah.
She's so great. and it has an amazing cast in it. Yeah, I mean, I think Away is still my favorite. I really did not want to watch that. I didn't care about
Give 'em a
another
synopsis of what it is.
Mars movie. It's a crew of very diverse astronauts who go on a mission to Mars, and Hilary Swank, two-time Oscar winner,
Josh Charles.
Josh Charles is her husband that she leaves behind, but Hilary Swank is the woman who leaves behind her teenage daughter for 3 years on this Mars mission, and it's quite amazing. They have, it's a cast of characters. An international cast. They have an Indian, African, all different kinds of people from all over the world, Russian. It's really, really fascinating story.
Now, Mike didn't always look like this. He started his countdown on when he started being sequestered. So all of a sudden he started building.
Seriously, this is 188 days beard.
Wow.
Today was 188 days
And I
since
find
California. I call it the Cali sequestration.
Like California shut down?
When California shut down.
I didn't have a haircut either. I was pretty shaggy, but when I was home in Boston, and
But you look good.
I went to the barber and got it all cut off.
I still can't get over the toilet paper apocalypse.
That's almost like it was like a year ago.
Forgot about that.
I know.
Well, and the weird thing is now coins are shortage. There's
Yes.
a coin shortage for some reason.
Coins?
Who's
These
hoarding
are-
all the coins?
These are like drachmas. You mean that kind
The
of?
quarters.
Pennies and
Yeah.
quarters. You can't get them at the bank. You cannot.
And
you
Who's
Aristotle
using
Katopodis.
coins?
Who's using- well, who's using them, but who's hoarding
I have
them?
one credit card and my driver's license, and that's all I have in my life now.
No, the quarter thing is driving me crazy because at some stores they round it up if you don't have exact change, and you're like, okay, then I feel like they're stealing from me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a problem with it.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Well, so Terry and I, when we were in Tennessee, we actually found this, the Lipto hand sanitizer.
Oh, it smells
So
good.
Tim O'Connor was here earlier for our other show, and so we found this 4.5 years ago. So this has been my hand sanitizer for 4.5 years.
Wow.
So
It's
when
in my
we
gym
took
bag.
it,
He told me
Exactly.
his story. He was an inspiring entrepreneur. He told me just when we were waiting in the green room.
well, the thing about that is I kept saying, Tim, I'm going to need this. This is 2018. We did our shows when we first did Tennessee shows, August 4th of 2018. I said, he's on a plane coming back from Australia. But before that, I'm like, Tim, I need your product. I'm taking it to Tennessee. It's not in Tennessee. I want to help market it. So the two shows that we had this on, 1.4 million views a day still and counting.
Wow.
On those two shows. We chose this when we chose the Lipto hand sanitizer. That's how much I believe in products. But I'm real specific on what I choose with them and what I'm doing with them, which is why I like Papa and Barkley. And like I said, I haven't even tried it. I already know what I'm going to do with that. But even this one, Flex 24, Terry told me about this a
Yeah, I
year
found
before.
that.
She found this. I'm like, what is this? I don't even know what it is. I love it because it works.
Well-
However, this show, Terry, is at 968,000 views, and it's only been a year and 3 months. We haven't even aired the show on TV yet. This show, that show, out of Tennessee alone, will be at 1 million views within the next 15, 17 days. That'll be the second show that we have 1 million views on. The first one was on a book with Edie Hand that she and I did for Elvis Presley's brand, St. Jude's Hospital, the Grand Ole Opry. I found her film in 2015, put it in the Hollywood Film Festival, called The Last Christmas Ride, and she's a 5-time cancer survivor. I call her my Southern mom. So when I do certain things like the Greek Film Festival, there are things that I, one, have to believe in, or environmentally friendly, sustainable. Those things are really, really important for us for movie reviews and more. And then with Terry, she's always been there for the interviews for stuff like that. So that's what makes it good. So now that she said that, Southern women in film and television, or women in television out of Tennessee and now Alabama, want us to do a panel, because we did a panel last year and we were the only one. There was 40 people in there because it was a smaller room. Actually, there was 42 seats. 41 we filled.
Yeah, it was on social
So
media. Yep.
yeah, and it was just us talking about our brand. So it was good, and we did our whole layout of what we wanted there. So the restroom kit, Bill and Sonia Maisie, we found them the same time. That's for you guys. These are for when you travel. So Adam, you were talking about when you were traveling. I take the restroom kit and the Lipto hand sanitizer with me no matter where I am, whether it's train, plane, bus, cars, because you never know when you're going to need that. What did we run out of? Toilet paper,
paper.
hand wipes, and stuff like that. Guess who had that stuff? Do you not think I wasn't smiling? the whole time when I was seeing all this stuff going on, because I was laughing at it. I was like, we told you about this in 2018, but I started telling you in 2015 the stuff that's going to happen. So Aristotle, when I was talking to you about film festivals, and at that point helping, Mike knows, and Terri was there for she was there for all the stuff for the Hollywood Film Festival. That's when I started seeing brands of what was going on, what was going wrong with film festivals around the world, which is why we went to Tennessee to do it. I love what the women did there. I wanted to help them, and we had fun there.
That was a fun.
It was fun. And then, so today, Linda out of there, she called us, the executive director, she called us, what do you want to do? I'm like, I have a plan for you. So I said, we're gonna most likely have our panel again of what we want to do. And certain things I'm going to be talking about. So it's just like being here at the Mike House studio. The reason why I like the studio, it's in the center of Hollywood. It's not easy to find, but I don't want everybody to know where I'm doing my show, for one, because everybody would be coming to us. And technically, we can only have 4 people, but that's enough. But when it comes to the product of stuff, you just said it there. Isn't it good to be out?
Absolutely.
to talk to people, and you haven't even had a tour yet, but it's a beautiful setting. She drove from Redondo Beach. I've got people coming from outside the country to come in to be on our shows.
Actually, it's very easy to find, Brian.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
very
say
easy.
that.
It's just hard to get in.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. I don't want everybody coming in.
It's just kind of tucked away.
There's no
a little bit, but-
doorbell, there's no...
But once you get here, you're like, wow, it's like that beautiful house that's at the top of the hill. We got to go all the way at the top of the hill, and how do you get there?
And
When
it's
you
hidden
get there, you're
behind-
like, it's like that.
Hidden behind the gate.
Exactly. That's what I want. But for our Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, and Mike writes for the Art of Montague, there's certain brands, there's festivals and artists that I want to help promote when it comes to their content, their product, and we can't do it on the red carpet, but we can do it here. We can do it at Lipscomb University in our that studio that we went to, which is great. We can do it at Tyler Perry's studio in Georgia. We can do it at Linda Steele's house in Chicago. I can do it at a private hotel because we have the suite set up in Vegas until our property is set up. So when it comes to all of these things like that, that's why I want certain people to come in here, because I'm not inviting everybody just due to time and location and everything, but I do want everybody to know what's going on with all the stuff that we're creating. So when it comes to the hand sanitizer, this is why I want to do something with Papa and Barkley. I already know what I'm going to do with you, Aristotle, for stuff.
So what?
Moment of silence there.
Did you have to deal with any, is there some push towards diversity in the production of the films in the Greek Film Festival the way we've seen elsewhere?
Well, I wouldn't say that so much, because by definition, for some reason, or not by definition, by by in a de facto situation, there are many women filmmakers.
That's great.
In Greece. So in our festival, we have more women filmmakers than men filmmakers.
Wow.
In our festival itself, the staff, I think I'm probably one of 2 guys. Everybody else is, are females, and I'm so happy to have such good co-workers, and creative and inspiring, and extremely, I'm very happy. So we haven't seen that. There is extreme discrimination as far as money is concerned. There's no money there for anyone.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's difficult to find money, finances for productions. And that's why you see lately, the last 5, 6, 8 years, a lot of international co-productions. So you're gonna see, Mike, if you watch some of our films, and you, Brian, as well, you're gonna see co-production of Spain, France, Greece, and Great Britain.
But it's the only way to do it, isn't it,
Yeah.
anymore?
Yes.
Seems like it is.
Yes, because that way you engage resources from different places, and you engage also audiences from different places. So it's Greek film, right? But it's really a lot more
Worldwide.
globalized. Yeah.
But it's also like, Mike and I started seeing this years ago when, Mike, remember when Universal, they started going to Saudi Arabia, Japan, and everybody for money, and Sony, and then they throw them out, and it's kind of funny seeing. So now you see China. You see 15 producers on a movie because you have to bring different people, and you see more of a cultural cast, which I think is great. I mean, I'm glad to see that you have a lot of filmmakers. It's not like they popped up overnight. They've always been there. Yes. In 2015, Hollywood Film Festival, we did Female Friday. We were the first festival to do that. We wanted specifically women directors finding those best films around the world, and we found some great ones, and we were honored. That was 2015. And we only had a team of 5 people come up with it, and then we used Beloit International Film Festival, which is the mini Sundance in Beloit, Wisconsin, some of our team members, and we found a lot of great films coming out of Chicago. But it's one of those things, Adam, when it comes to film festivals, there's a lot of great films that just don't see the light of day, and it's very frustrating. And then now you have all these other outlets going on Hulu and Amazon and Disney Plus and stuff like that, but like I said, I don't know where I could tell people to go see Cliffs of Freedom. All I can do is talk about it, but it's one of the best films that I saw last year. My mouth dropped. I'm still talking about it a year later, and it came from your film festival.
Well, thank you, Brian. Well, you can tell them to see Stella this year. Stella is a film, a 1955 film, recently remastered.
Wow.
It's a Michael Kakoyannis film that played at Cannes Film Festival in 1955. And it's the first debut film of Melina Mercouri. Melina Mercouri, we're celebrating 100 years from her birth this year.
Wow.
In October, actually, of 2020. And she was a charismatic woman actress, and also she also later on she became a minister of culture in Greece. So she's charismatic in many different ways, and she played in Top Kapi, film by Jules Dessein, Never on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so we are happy to have been able to find and locate and have that remastered copy of 1955 Stella, the film of
That's not
the
easy.
first film of Melina Mercouri, and we're making a special showcase for it with an Italian-Greek actress, Melina Chiaverini, that happens to be writing a film about Melina Mercouri.
Wow.
Wonderful.
So this is some very exciting synergies taking place there.
See, you're getting my hopes up for a virtual film festival. I mean, that's good. It's not easy because, again, unless you have the poster art there or you see the movie trailer, like when you're watching the Super Bowl or whatever, or show, we're not seeing stuff. Mike and I, when we get a link, we don't know what we're seeing half the time. We just have a link to this to see it.
I was telling you that. I mean, Outfest, I was covering that, and I was watching some of the stuff, and I was like waiting for the laughter. I was like consciously thinking, God, if this was in the theater, that I wouldn't hear the next line because there'd be so much laughter on that line, and I'm like laughing and looking around like, am I the only one here?
And you were.
Well, but you go, oh, holy shit, like something happens, and I would do that in a theater, and it's just kind of weird to do it by yourself. So,
Exactly.
Do you think you could not have a limit on if someone was buying a pass, couldn't you just sort of leave it open and allow people to continue? Because wouldn't, the winners, for instance, they want to be able to still have their film shown and be promoted by you?
Yes and no. Yes for some films, no for some other films.
because some of them are still looking for distribution.
Yes, exactly. And some of them, we have an agreement with the existing distributors that they already have distribution not to exceed a certain number of viewings,
Right.
because they want to recoup their income.
They want to make some
revenue.
money off of these
They wanna-
movies.
Exactly. And so
Well, just as a marketing resource for a certain amount of
it would
time.
be great for some of the films that don't get a lot of play, and they'd love that. But then again, some other films that are competitive and they haven't even been screened in other markets. They want to have that privilege for that other market.
Understood.
Aristotle, we got a couple minutes left. Talk about the process of selecting of what you can talk to, because how are the Greek Film Festival now, if someone's making a film now, and this is a great time of what we just went through the last couple months of creating content, what would be after this film festival is over? Because people don't realize it takes a year to put on a film festival. Yes. They don't realize that. It's even tougher to do now. And so for Hollywood Film Festival, this is what I do. The Sundance rule, it came out a couple years ago. They would never say it, and I always said it. I watch a film from beginning to end. So does Michael. We stay for the credits. We were just brought up that way. Mm-hmm. They watch 10 minutes of a film. Well, what happens if the first 10 minutes are slow? And then you ever seen a film where it gets better after 10 minutes? Well, your film, they didn't give it a chance, and I always felt that was wrong. I was never that person, because I was always that person coming out of home video where you watched that video and you made your money back later. However, those people who wanted to watch films, they were going by our pick of, this was a great film. You have another one like this? Well, I've got plenty of films for you to see. That was the choice on that. What do you say to those people who are making films now who want to support and then who never thought about entering a movie into the Greek Film Festival?
Well,
because everybody who wants to put a film in Sundance, I go, never mind Sundance, put it in the other films,
That's right.
film festivals that they will get seen.
Well, thanks for the intro, and I'll take the opportunity to mention that for these filmmakers that are thinking of making a film and producing it, let them think about Greece. Greece has, as a filming destination, as a production country now, has one of the most competitive rebate programs in the world. It's 40% rebate and new tax law. So, of course, it has the natural beauty to compete with any other country in the world. And so that's a place to start. Go film in Greece. You're going to have your vacation and a great time and amazing scenery.
And some good food.
And some good food. To boot.
And it's not just Wonder Woman.
Other than that, well, it's a film is a film, right? You got to try your best, and you got to have your dreams on not on celluloid anymore, but on that magnetic tape on the hard disk. So the way we select the films, the way we feel about them has always been the same. Can we see something new? Can we see something exciting, something different? We want to be a different festival. We don't want necessarily to play the biggest blockbusters in the world. We're going to have some of those too, or the best ones. But we really want to see some different filmmakers. Lanthimos, the very famous one, the Greek Weird Wave, he had his film in Los Angeles Greek Film Festival. And we were helping him out with our very own PR agent at that time to run his Oscar campaign for Best Foreign Language Film for Dogtooth back in 2008. So we like to bring, and we see it right now. I mean, we've been screening shorts from filmmakers that are going to Cannes, they're going to Venice, we're going to Berlinale, and they're getting awards. And we've screened all of their shorts, so they get feedback. We give them feedback. They come here and we talk. So we're looking for the different. We're looking for new voices that are going to say something substantive, and they're going to try to change something in this world while trying to be entertaining as well, while trying to be engaging. If you're not engaging, you're not going to be able to give anything to anybody. And that's interesting. In this virtual environment, now for the first time, we're going to be able to see exactly for each film how long did people watch it. right?
Wow.
Exactly.
Did they watch the first 3 minutes and then split? Did they watch the first half an hour and then we lost everybody at the rest of the half of the film? These are some interesting feedback that
Yeah.
you're going to get from thousands of views that you never expect or you never hope or
Mike, do you
get
remember
used
when
to.
HBO had this thing where they would send us the links? If you stopped it, you couldn't continue watching the film. They were tracking back then if you were seeing it from beginning to end. And then even on Showtime, on our press site for certain things, you might only be able to watch it twice, and that's it. But they know. And you can't share it because it got your name on it. And, you've heard everybody doing these things. And, we're going to end in a couple minutes. But I've got to say this. I don't know if anybody's seen it. You get a chance on Paramount TV, Yellowstone, with Kevin Costner, which is a great series, one of the best series I've seen in a long time. And then coming October 3rd on Showtime, the history of the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Every famous comic who's ever gone through there is 5 episodes. I've seen 3 right now. Excellent series, and I hope to have, I will have a couple of them coming here. I will tell you one thing, and Mike, I think you know this. Mitzi Shore, Pauly Shore, if you heard the name Pauly Shore, the Shore brothers, they ex-produce it. It's a great series, so most likely we will have Pauly and his brother coming
great.
here with the director, Mike Bender, who we've interviewed throughout our time. So if you get a chance, that's really, really good because they got every person, every comic talking from Jay Leno to David Letterman on record how they started in the early 70s going to the Comedy Store. It's really, really interesting. What you can't do now, you can't really go see comedy. And we do have Sinbad coming in pretty soon, but it'll be one of those things. To end with this, Mike, give your website and what you're working on.
You can find my Dachshund books. That's the latest stuff on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you could read them for free, and you can also order them for like $6. They're, just Mike Szymanski and Dachshunds on Amazon.
Aristotle?
lagff.org. You're going to find everything in there. October 1st to the October 15th, Los Angeles Greek Film Festival. Thank you for having me, Brian.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you in here. It's all about film and promoting great things.
Yep.
Adam?
Well, thank you again, Brian. Yeah, our website is papaandbarkley.com and papaandbarkleycbd.com.
Terry?
My website is terrimarieofficial.com, and social media is Terri Marie Nonstop on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and now TikTok. There you go.
And I want to thank everybody for coming on. This is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv. You talk about women. Well, this show is on WomenOnTV.tv, so we'll be promoting these brands on that. And iTube247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. So, as we always end, this is the Mike House Studio. The Mike House Studio, our new place when we're in Los Angeles, and I love it here. So, if you see someone without a smile, we've been going through a lot of good things. Please give them one of yours because the world needs it. And we will see you next week.